sidechaining a compressor. I'm going to use my kick drum to control the compressor that's on my bass line. So let's go through and find a track that's got a bass line. In fact, we'll just use this filter rhythm, although I've frozen that track. So I'm going to unfreeze it for right now. In fact, we can probably disable that. Incidentally, I think I mentioned this once before, maybe in the beginning DVD. If you need to disable any plugins, just hold down Option and you can just click on them and you'll disable them. The one I do want to bring up is a compressor. I'll just bring in Logic's regular compressor. Now you'll notice a little section up at the top that says sidechain. Now the sidechain, we can use tracks or buses as in terms of its input. We'll come back to that in just a second. So what I now need to do is go to let's use the EXS24 track. We're going to use the EXS24 and we're going to send it out a multiple output. So right now, if we just listen to the EXS24, it's going to have the kick and the snare and the hi-hats. Now I don't want my hi-hats or my snare triggering this compressor that's going to be on my bass track or this filtered rhythm track. So what I'm going to do is actually go into and switch this to the EXS24 sampler under the multi-channel format. So it'll go through and reload it and it'll look exactly the same and it's going to function exactly the same. Except now I'm going to go under the edit page. There's the EXS. I'll hit this edit button and it brings up my sample instrument editor. We'll get into further explanations within this and also how to load up your own in the DVD that covers the plugins and the instruments. But for right now, what we're going to do is focus on this. So there's my kick drum right there. So that's the one I'm looking for. It's called the alternate kick. So you'll notice under groups, you'll see that these 4 layers right here, those represent 4 different samples that have been assigned to this one key on my keyboard. Cursor down. So there's the sound we want. So essentially, it's going out the main output. What I'm going to do is tell the EXS output to go to, say, 3 and 4. Or let's just use a single output. It's a kick drum. It's not in stereo, so I'm just going to pick number 11. So now it's going to send this kick drum out, output 11. Now if we were to still listen to it, it's going to ask me, do I want to save this instrument? Yeah, I'll save it. Why not? I can always come back to this. So if we listen to it, it's still going to have the kick drum coming out the main output. What I'm going to do now is go to my aux and bus layer, which is on aux screen set 4. And I'll go to my aux track. And on the input of my aux track, you'll see my physical inputs, you'll see any buses, but you also see instrument number 2, which is my EXS24. I'm going to select EXS24 number 11. So now my kick drum is going to show up here on this track. I'll solo it. So now when we hit play, we'll see the kick drum coming in there. So there's just my kick drum playing. So that's handy, kind of like that. So now, with my kick drum coming in on this aux track, I'm going to send this to a bus. So now if I hit play, the kick drum is going to show up. Whoops, I need to bring up the send. The kick drum is going to show up on my bus here.